Okay, well, now that that dropped us off the train with the warrior, I suppose while we wait for matchmaking to deposit our tank, we can go play some rounds in the IS-7. Now, as I said before, this is the biggest dig in fucking World of Tanks that I could even possibly imagine. And, you know, our Obsidian is on the upswing with Armored Warfare right now. So I suppose I'll let them, you know, I'll let them, you know, have a laugh when they're, you know, they're feeling good. So I'm not even, I'm not offended or angry at this at all. Who would be? But, well, it's an IS-7. This wonderful, completely over-designed Slavic masterwork. I've only played one round in it, and the aim time is fucking terrible, but it's still a fun tank to drive around. So we're gonna do that. Alright, you can't do hard. It's tier 4 and tier 5. Die. Oh, I'm sorry, no, it's tier 3. It's basement tier main battle tanks. And it's got, well, it does 333 damage, 336 damage, which is a little bit low for a 130mm cannon, don't you think? And it only gets AP and HE. And the HE is, well, it's HE. But HE's getting changed in Balance 2.0, so we're gonna see, well, we won't count the HE out yet. But, as you're going to see, the aim time is fucking atrocious. Like, holy crap. But, like I said, still fun. And hey, look, we got a buddy to come along with us. In terms of, whatchamacallit, in terms of, you know, event or reward vehicles, this is probably one of the better ones in terms of, well, in terms of quality and in terms of, if I might play it. You know, unlike basically all of World of Tanks' you know, reward vehicles, which are jokes. The i7, I think you'll actually see the i7 rolling about, you know, at tier 3. I mean, I haven't played, honestly, I haven't analyzed the low tier, whatchamacallit, I haven't analyzed the low tier, metagame all that much, or really the PvP metagame all that much in this game, aside from it's kind of shit. But, you know, that's kind of self-explanatory because it's kind of shit, so I never play it. But this seems like a fairly, you know, fairly sensible main battle tank. The reload time is slow, and the aim time is, well, look at this. Now I can shoot.
Those missiles will allow special forces to land on those ships and retake them.
You have to exert yourself to aim the gun, just like the loader has to learn gymnastics to maneuver around in the crew compartment. But it's okay, we're a Soviet modern art piece. That's why we play this thing. We don't play it because it's good. We play it because it's an IS-7 in a game about main battle tank. Look at that. I didn't even get a chance. Ugh. But when you do, it hits pretty hard. I'll play this and run around in it. I'll probably, whatchamacallit, for low-tier global operations, I'll probably pop around in this fucking thing. If only for the looks. And only, you know, if only to say, yes, I am in fact driving an IS-7 around in a modern battlefield. What of it? And I didn't have to murder myself to, get one in World of Tanks! I don't have to do a Grindfest for Russian heavy tanks! Ha! You see, that you are never- The fucking turret traverse is- The turret traverse makes the gun reticule bloom all the way out to its- Oh my god. This thing needs retrofits like you've goddamn never believed. I'm gonna put one on after this game. It's kind of slow, but tier 3 main battle tanks are all really slow, so that's not really a knock against it. I've gotten shot at a couple of times in the earlier games, and the side armor is, well, like most main battle tank side armor, it's shit. But I believe this is actually... Thank you, Starship! It's okay, Starship. You're just too awesome for me. I'm not mad at all. I fucking love the Starship. But, like I was saying, the side armor is kinda, well, shit, because all side armor in main battle tanks is shit. That's kind of the stereotype that, that armor warfare instills in you. Half of it is by design, I suppose. Because some of these vehicles are actually historically modeled in armor where they can. They can't all be historically modeled, because as you go up the modern vehicles, you'll find pretty quickly that half of them are classified. Shit, the Challenger 1's armor models are still classified. Well, classified in a you know, in a public sense. It's actually fairly hard to get a hold of that kind of shit. And of course, as you get to the higher tiers, which are brand spanking new vehicles, or in the PL1's case, completely fucking new and not actually built yet, you gotta start, by necessity, you have to start making shit up. I need aim time bonuses. Jesus Christ. But it seems like... Wow. It is of good gun, Tovarish! Most accurate! Envy of all world! I feel like I have to exert... Yeah, I have to exert myself. It just... It's like I have to work out a sneeze. Oh, it didn't come out. Hit the fucking track. Hit the track of a fucking Sheridan. I suppose I hit the road wheel and went into the ground. You see, this IS-7 next to us probably has hull reinforcement retrofits, which is perfectly reasonable. It is a main battle tank after all. I was about to say heavy tank, but no, that's not that game. Hey, I actually got a kill, or actually hit the target on the move. Widowmaker. Fear my 130th naval cannon. And my incredibly useless ram. But I could see this being fun in global operations, if only for I'm an IS-7. It'd be like riding into battle in a jeep with a recoilless rifle on it. Italian piece of crap. Or no, a Toyota Helix with a with a hind rocket pack on the back. It's that kind of goofy, or like I don't know, or I suppose a more becoming sort of goofy, driving an A7V around in a World War II scenario. You gotta have tact sometimes. You can be ridiculous, but you gotta have tact. And also, dear God, if any of you are those kinds of people that really likes German technology and putting it into everything, please realize what you're doing half of the time. You can be a wereaboo, it's okay. Just realize it shouldn't really be in everything. But tangent aside. Oh. Alright, crew skills. And also, this is a full crew, which is actually kind of surprising. It has 2 loaders. Okay, so let's see here. So we have increased reloading time. And we can we can actually increase the loading. Wow. Module damage. That's completely useless since we don't actually use that. So we'll. All right. Yeah, we can't click it twice. I want to click it twice, but they won't let me. No, I don't want that skill. So we want to ammo rack hit points. My ammo rack's never been fucking damaged. You can actually get all of the loader skills, so I suppose it doesn't really matter. So we'll get explosive shells. Gunner! Aim time! Holy shit. Is there a... No, that just make the fucking thing bloom uncontrollably. Accuracy is perfectly fine. Aim time. That's the problem. Smooth ride. So we can get rid of the horrible aim time. Horrible crippling aim time. Why are we using you as a commander? Why? Frisia, get over here. Rate of fire. Let's see here. Yeah, all the module damage you could possibly fucking want. And ammunition swap speed. This is why Frigia's my waifu in this game. Let's see here. Let's get a retrofit in here. Where the fuck is gyroscope? There's gyroscope. Also, I still don't have that. I bought it. They won't give it... Actually, no, it's on the Sheridan. Hang on here. Hang the fuck on. Let me write this inconsistency. See, I think they gave me money. No, they didn't give me money. You... bastards. My autism is afire right now. Ah! Okay. So, let's see here. We'll give it stabilizers as our tier 3. How much does that cost? 60? Actually usable. How about that shit? Now, what can we get on the... I suppose the most obvious one would be hull reinforcement. Which... Oh. We can also get tier 3. You see, why did they limit that on the warrior? What's going on here? This is... Unless there is something else that gives me aim time, and just aim time, I'm pretty sure there isn't. 11. Rate of fire, that increases that. Shell materials is actually pretty baller, just for rate of fire purposes, I suppose. And that also increases my moving accuracy, which also decreases aim time. So that's a thing. I don't think anything actually gives me aim time, though. Just aim time. Yeah, I don't... Nope. I suppose as we're going to be moving a lot... That is rate of fire as well, which is something else that we need. I suppose a competing thing would be shell materials for, whatchamacallit, for, global operations, because you will be moving around a lot in that mode. You'll repositioning is actually incredibly important in that mode, which is why why am I not using these? Why not? Which is why like I was saying, IFVs are incredibly actually if IFVs and light tanks actually do have the run of the place in global operations. The main battle tanks are still useful for holding the mid, of course. They're still really fucking terrifying, but they're not the best thing that you could be using. They still have their bonuses, and IFVs can roll around and capture the wild cards, which are, you know, kill streaks and whatnot. And that can give you ATGM bunkers, which can really fuck over your main battle tanks if someone puts them right on top of their heads, which you can do. And also, you know, the B2 airstrike, which liquidates essentially an entire grid square, is, you know, a pretty good thing to pick up when you can. So yeah, my main battle tanks will still be will still be totally fight. They will be of and is fight. But for the people who like the concept of driving around IFVs and light tanks, you're gonna have something to do. Although, for some reason, the capture bonuses that IFVs get for capturing a point don't apply. Everybody captures at the same rate, which is, I suppose, interesting for balance, you know, I suppose perfectly for balance reasons, of course, but it kind of removes the whole point of, well, why do they get a bonus to capturing anyway? But funny enough, as I alluded to it, and when I started playing the BMD a while back, see, that's much better aim time. As I alluded to it, they are actually thinking about adding deployables for IFVs, which is actually really rather interesting. See, I'm not totally full of shit all the time. I can design games, or I can speculate on the design of games. But we'll see what happens if they actually get around to that. Because they do have lots of other interesting experimental ideas, such as armored recovery vehicles for repairing people, which I totally play. But we know not what the future holds.
Identify. Awesome.
Yeah, that aim time is still really terrible. At least we can pen, like, all of him. Except the front of the turret. That works.
Identify target.
Ha ha! You are a simple Russian Strelok. I am a cosmonaut from the future. He penned me. Goddamn modern APDS rounds. Where'd you steal that technology from? You're not supposed to have that. You're cavemen! A beta or an alpha tester? I always get confused. It's an alpha tester! Holy goddamn shit! Look at this special fucking snowflake. Shot on the move. Yeah, I suppose, I would suppose shell materials would be a really good fit for this as well. In terms of reducing on-the-move accuracy. Or improving on-the-move accuracy. So you can use this thing as a bit of a battering ram. You know, let's try HE. It's only got, you know, what, 26 pen? 21 penetration. That's good enough for the lighter vehicles, I suppose. But let's see how much damage it can do to something that's... Oh, look, a perfect example. A BMD-1. No surprises there, it one-hit him. Which would probably be good in the in global operations. Let's see here. I could probably pen that. 219? Really? What happens if I hit you in the engine deck? Still 200 damage. Okay, so you do about 200 damage when you shoot people with this. When you shoot people with HE. Science! The cutting edge of Slavic technology. So, I suppose the next thing would be to test that against a fully armored target, if we actually run into any of those. This man over here, can we pen his? Yeah, we can pen his front. We can totally pen his front. No problems here. I suppose the issue would be running into another heavily armored target, which is, I think, about the only thing that qualifies as a heavily armored target at this tier is another IS-7. That one went wide, but I still got the ammo rack. You got him, BM. You got him, BMP-1. You got it. You got it. Maybe waste my fucking shell, though. Just a second too fucking slow. There's a BMP. I got him. Also, it didn't resupply the fucking... I had energy drinks on this. I didn't resupply them. Who forgot to pack the monster? Click. Someone got him. Am I actually gonna keep this kill? Do I get it all? Do I keep it? I do! That was the last kill, too. How about that?
Great job, Black Company. The refinery is under our control, and the explosives have been disabled.
Ammo up.
Like I said, it's a fun vehicle. It's not anything, like, special in terms of damage output. I think the, whatchamacallit, let's have a look at the stats. In terms of, like, well, we know the aim time is fucking atrocious, and it's not gonna win any awards ever. But in terms of alpha damage for the AP rounds, I don't think it's actually really all that amazing. Or a standout in its tier. Oh, we got a steel crate out of that, holy crap. Makes a decent amount of money for what it is. This is tier 3. This is literally basement tier. 1,000! Damn! That actually helps me out there. Well, let's see here. Let's see here. Well, our chief components, our chief opponents here at tier 3 are the T-62, which is, well, prides itself on its really big gun. And that does, we actually do more damage than that. It's 115 millimeter. Smoothbore anti-tank gun. So yeah, we do more damage than that. And on average, it's like, in terms of AP. But that also gets heat, which does, you know, well, actually, it doesn't actually do that much more damage with heat. Well, there you go. What about on the, let's have a stroll here across the pond and see what else we're working with here. Okay, M60. How much damage does this do? Actually, even less damage. But the M60 is a very comfortable vehicle, which also does 278 damage. Yeah, it's not going to win awards. But M60s, you shouldn't. The Russians are the king of like raw damage output, and I think the i7 is a very big expression of that. But do not count the M60 out. I'd actually prefer the if I didn't have the i7, I'd actually prefer the M60. The Leopard is also not going to win any awards with what would its... still haven't played. I've unlocked it. I have it sitting in my... It's right there. I haven't played it yet. It does slightly more damage than the M60, I believe. It doesn't get heat, though. Not that it matters, because the M60's heat does, like a spitball's more... worth more damage than the AP rounds. Yeah, let's see here. 263... And 269. Actually, it does more damage with the AP rounds. My mistake. But again, it's like single digits. The AP round does, you know, slightly, you know, it's double digits. Or the heat round does double digits. So, yeah. Another thing you really need to worry about is the BMP-1, which is actually actually a fucking damage powerhouse for what it is. Rate of fire 9 rounds a minute. Reload time 6 seconds. The gun is in an absolutely terrible position, but that goddamn gun if it hits you. And of course the Dragoon, which is tank destroyer. 90mm heat, which does a disproportionate amount of damage for what it is. But it's a tank destroyer, so I suppose it has to get away with it. It also has absolutely shit gun depression. The premium one is much better, and we have that. The LAV 150 has it's basically that vehicle, but better in every way. So yeah, those are your. I suppose we can look at the Chinaman too. We don't want to count him out, even though it's basically just a T-54 with new paint, lead based. Yeah, you're not really looking at anything amazing. But that's sort of the thing. The Chinese are like sort of somewhere between the Western and Eastern main battle tanks in terms of damage output and accuracy. They're a balanced sort, but once again, I play things that are that seem underpowered and unassuming, but are also very extreme in the way that they accomplish things. So that's why I'm not terribly interested in Chinese-made battle tanks. I don't really like middle-of-the-road fucking things. And also, for kicks, the Scorpion, which, well, those numbers aren't real. They're not real numbers, unless you penetrate something, which is pretty entertaining. But you only have how much 12. So the only thing you're gonna be penetrating is IFEs. But that doesn't, not to count the old Scorpion out. It's fun. So this is actually, funnily enough, I believe, the highest damage main battle tank at this tier, which, well, makes sense because it's a 130mm cannon. It's the largest gun at this tier. Not really amazing in any other regards, I suppose. It's a big stupid. I suppose it's, well, a Russian tank in a lot of ways. It's a big stupid axe. You just bludgeon people with it. And in that sense, well, it's a standout vehicle for its tier. Hang on here. Can we get camouflage on this thing? I saved that gold. Not bad. You see, the greens are all basically the same, but I like the, whatchamacallit, the really pale green. It actually looks fairly real, even though that's basically the stock camouflage, but once again, it's just green. Let's see here. Our Desert Warfare colors. Solid gold! You know, I'm gonna keep that. That's really the only vehicle. This is the only vehicle that I use that fucking blindingly yellow camouflage on. Yep, it's a reflex. It's built into me. I'll play another couple of games. Why not? Yeah, that actually doesn't look terribly... It still looks like a goddamn banana, but, well, it doesn't look that bad. We'll stand out in the crowd. We'll actually use that a lot, and that's actually going to be our look for global operations, because the one map that they're putting in is a desert map. So we're going to be riding around in a Russian banana. Look at us go. Aren't we special? Adjust my seat here. So I've got good hopes for driving this around in Tier 3 global operations. Maybe I'll find, I think I have more than a few vehicles for each tier, so I suppose we'll bop around a couple of tiers and then see how the game is once it comes out. But I do favor most of the time. I do favor low tier gameplay in these kinds of games. It's usually always more fun, mainly because the vehicles are usually, honestly, at lower tiers in these kinds of games, the options you have to choose from are a lot more unique than what you get at high tiers, because obviously there are going to be less vehicles at high tiers because they're so expensive. They're usually expensive to make, and developers don't really put that much effort into them. Actually, they put effort into them, but they only do a few at a time, so there really aren't that many. So you also you don't have to worry about, repair bills and whatnot. So it's a lot more it's a lot more freeing, or a lot more free in terms of how you approach things. You can fuck up and it doesn't really matter because it's a low tier vehicle who really gives a shit. So you're, free to have a lot more fun. And also, it's also really often overlooked in terms of, like, competitive. Like, for example, low-tier gameplay in World of Tanks. Nobody gives a shit about low-tier gameplay in World of Tanks. Why would you play low-tier? Why would you, like, seriously attempt to play World of Tanks competitively at a low tier? What the fuck are you, a pedo bear? That's what they call you. Because you're just a stat patter preying on, new players. You're just, you're a horrible, terrible person, and you're, a skillless hack. You can't hack it at higher tiers, so you play lower tiers and just shoot at noobs. That's the only reason you're down here, right? It's not like you like everything about this, you know, about the style of game that you're playing at lower tiers and have no interest in the higher tiers, because high tier gameplay in all of these fucking games is shit. I'm gonna be completely honest. It is. But now we've turned the tables here. We have a tier 10 vehicle from World of Tanks at tier 3 in Armored Warfare. This is a bit of a fun scenario, isn't it? That tank destroyer is gonna get the kill. See? Told you. I got a sense for these reload times. You missed. Step it up. But yeah, I like lower tier gameplay in a lot of these games. It doesn't mean I'm a stat padding whore, it's just it means that I don't really I don't want to feel like I don't want to sound like that I'm just sort of opposed to challenge or competitive nature. I'm not. But honestly, in a lot of these games, and not just these kinds of games, I mean other games like first-person shooters and RPGs and shit like that, competitive play, the level that it takes the game usually winds up being completely removed from the entire point the game is. It's like sucking the romanticism out of any, like, out of a fantasy setting or a story when you work it down to its baser element, which in itself isn't bad. However, what you usually get when you start doing that, it's really ugly. Like, what do you have in World of Tanks? You have purple numbers. And, you know, rigidly that's honestly why I don't like Overwatch 2, because that game is just asking for it. That game is purposely built and fucking marketed to the people that do that shit. I can't have fun in Overwatch without someone telling me I'm doing my fucking job wrong. That's kind of why I don't really like games like Overwatch. And it's honestly why I don't really like playing games like StarCraft 2, for example, because that game's fucking build orders, and like that game, there's almost nothing. That game's a very accurate representation of running an army. Unfortunately, the very accurate representation of running an army is that it's a paperwork fucking simulator. It's a management sim, not a combat game. You don't even have, half the time you don't even have time to watch your troops actually do their job. No, you're too busy arranging for their eventual replacements after they get slaughtered out in the field to be, you know, put out there so they can do that, so they can try and attempt to do the same thing. It completely kills any and all, like, romanticism or imagination about the fucking process. And that's really what I'm in for. I like escapism. People derive their fun from, whatchamacallit. Some people derive their fun and escapism from winning. That's perfectly fine. I call them cyber athletes.
They are making their approach now.
I, however, want to, well, I want to feel involved. I want to feel there. It doesn't have to be, but, you know, that's a common misconception, of course. When you say something like that, people like to think that, oh, you want an entirely realistic game. You want to play Armor or Red Orchestra. No, I don't. Honestly, in a lot of cases, I'm one of the people that freely admits that something being totally and utterly realistic usually winds up being shit. Like, I like Red Orchestra and playing tanks in Red Orchestra, but that's the only thing I like playing. I don't like the gunplay in Red Orchestra. I never, ever like the gunplay in those kinds of games, even though I fucking wasted hours of my younger years playing the original Operation Flashpoint, and that was one of the most realistic games for its time. And that's basically the only time I ever liked the gunplay in any of those games. Or like that's the only time I actually enjoyed playing those types of games, and it wasn't for the realism. It was for the affection. It's not for the realism. It's the depth. Realism is part of the immersion. However, depth can, you know, sometimes what you usually get hand in hand with Realism is depth, and that's what makes those kinds of games fun. Like, for example, there's a mission in the original Operation Flashpoint where you're playing, like, a Special Forces dude, and your mission is to basically, under cover of darkness, infiltrate a Russian, a Russian camp that has their armored division sort of sitting around, blow the place up and walk away, like, get to extraction, an in and out operation, disable the Russian tanks and then leave. So what the fuck did I do when I played that mission? I got in one of the goddamn tanks and I burned that fucking camp to the ground. I like that. I like games that let you do that kind of stupid shit. It was actually totally by accident as well. I set the charges, and I blew half of the place up, but, I didn't have any charges left. It was so the half of the place was still standing. I didn't have the objective. And I realized that one of the tanks that I tried to blow up wasn't actually dead. So I got inside it, and I finished the job. I like that. That's why I like playing Men of War, too. I like stupid shit like that, and that's depth. That's not realism. That's giving you, the option to do that kind of shit. But backtracking a couple points there.
Good job, Black Company.
I like to be immersed in what I'm doing, and I like to feel like I'm not artificially limited by stupid bullshit. Or like I want to be like I'll get around the gamification stuff, but I don't like to be, feel like I'm limited in what I'm doing. If I could reasonably, assume things. Like one of the biggest, like if I could I know I have the tools available to accomplish this job. Like for example, one of the biggest things you see in video games, and something you've almost gotten used to, is the fact that in a first-person shooter, you are a man with a gun, and you come across a humble wooden door in a house, and it is locked, and you cannot go any further. You have a gun in your hands. You could easily shoot the lock off the door and go through, or you could easily kick the door. However, because of the limitations of design and the lack of depth, you can't. That shit. You don't even think about that shit, though. I've actually gotten past getting angry at that specific thing, but that's kind of the thing that I was talking about. It's, you notice once in a while that doesn't make any fucking sense. But I'm rambling. Let's play another game. Why not? One more. But I prize depth in these games. As I have, run this locomotive across a fucking, across this, magical land that is my fucking mind and lost all fucking point. But I prize depth in these games, and usually the depth is not where you're thinking it. Usually the depth is not where you think it is, or the place that everyone puts all of their, their scrutiny and their effort into where the depth of the game is. They usually go so far into that kind of stuff. Like for example, when they say depth, they go to competitive level, and that's not really what that really should be. And when they do that, it kind of makes the game shit. Again, I don't want to shoot. I don't want to rag and shit on people who play competitive games and like them, but they're not for me. Like, making something competitive is sort of like, it's akin to making something you like your job. It's not going to be great all the time, and the things that frustrate you about it make the game frustrate about you in a normal sense. Even when you're having fun, get that much more frustrating when you start taking it really seriously.
You ready? Black Company, new objective. There might be crucial intel stored in those cartel satellite trucks. See if you can retrieve any useful intel from them.
So, as I ramble through that point and just sort of randomly swat thoughts out of my head. So where, I actually even completely lost my train of thought there. Where was I go? I started talking about low-tier gameplay, and then I started talking about purple numbers, and then this is about the time I was playing that last match and I was shooting at the hill. I was on the hill and I was shooting at things. And then I remember, somehow, I branched off of that and started talking about escapism, and then got to depth and realism, depth versus realism, or depth with realism. I lose track of myself sometimes. But I play these games for escapism primarily through enjoying what I am doing. And that's not really... I'm a fucking space cadet, and a competitive person will absolutely hate me. Like, I like playing competitive, but, I will get mad at video games, and that's not fun for me.
Nice job, Black Company.
But I like, and honestly, being competitive isn't the whole thing. Like, I would, like most of the people who play video games, I always, you had dreams of being, like, a competitive video, like, you being the MLG pro. Everybody had that sort of inclination, or that thought at one point, probably. But as I got, further and further in, one, I'm not that great at video games. I can try really goddamn hard, but I'm not that great at video games. I'm good at hiding how, bad I am at video games. Which also lends to my editing skills, so... But the, there we go. I finally killed something after all this time. The,
Identified.
I've lost it again. God damn, I'm fucking rambling today. At least I'm in a talkative mode, that helps. But so, so the points for that argument that we just went over, or me, not even argument, but me rambling like an asshole. So, high-tier gameplay in most of these games is shit, we know that. Low-tier gameplay is extremely varied and also fun and often overlooked because people are busy running to the competitive shithole that is the higher-tier gameplay. We knew this one. How do we compress that point? It's realism, and realism is not the answer. It's not the direct answer to artificiality. It's depth. And I suppose I'm starting to get around to this. I suppose my issues with video games that drove me to realism, like more realistic games, are from developers having lack of imagination when tackling issues. Like, Battlefield 1's campaign. But, once again, rambling nonsensically at this point. Don't listen to me, I just play video games on the internet for a living. Ah! Fucking BMP1. That is still it's kind of annoying that I can't one-hit shit. Or, like, lighter vehicles. Like, I wish this did a little bit more damage. But, once again, that's also a balance feature in terms of being built into guns. Because being one-hit by things isn't fun. Which is why I don't like realistic shooters all that much, because you usually die in one hit. And that can be, that lends attention to something. That lends attention and a weight to the actions that you're doing. So when you do storm into a room and shoot, 3 people, it actually feels like something because any one of them could have turned around and put one bullet in your chest and you're fucking dead. But most of the time it just leads to a lot of standing around and being incredibly cautious and then abruptly dying a lot of times. Which is not what I want to fucking do when I play video games, goddammit. But again, when it's realistic, it's fine. It's just that, for me, realism doesn't equal fun all the time. It's the depth that comes with the realism that is where I get my fun. That's probably true for a lot of people as well. But, I don't know. I recently figured out how to articulate that, and I'm quite proud of myself. We did fucking nothing that game. Wow. This is what I get for rambling on like a philosophical jackass. Pseudo-philosophical jackass. Let me finish that. Well, to make up for that, let's play one more game, and then we'll call it quits for today. My warrior is back in the garage, so, I suppose I'll carry off, where I was beforehand with that, or maybe not. It won't be, there won't be an interruption to you, because on my deathbed there will, from my deathbed I will swear that there will be videos every day on this goddamn channel. But, we'll see what happens. I have been up all night, so I should probably, shut down for a little while, even though I sound pretty energetic. I don't know. This is what happens when I don't have anyone to talk to. I just ramble on like an asshole. But, game. Play game. Talk later. Play game. Click at things. Make YouTube money. Save up money. Make anime one day.
All companies down. Capturing the port is up
This
to you now.
starship and this BMD-1 are not camouflage. You're gonna get the whole platoon killed.
Destroy cartel contraband. Intel suggests it's hidden amongst emergency relief supplies. See if you can find the
Says the
contraband before
bright
everything is
banana
destroyed.
IS-7.
Keep moving. That looks like one of ours.
He's there. Ah! Fucker. Gun depression also isn't terribly amazing on this tank, but it gets the job done, really. Oh. You see, we exerted ourselves for nothing. BMD knows the tricks here.
Identify target.
Wait, Hey!
Contraband. Good job. We'll take
Looks like the
that one out.
BMD-1 is gonna get all the control points, or the secondary objectives. He's gonna mark all of the crates so we don't blow up our own shit.
Identify.
Hostile, PC.
So we're gonna go into the center and mop up. Hey, Frenchie. That one can, or broke my track.
Target destroyed.
You little bastard. OF-40 Lieutenant. Oh my god, I'm shaking in my fucking boots.
Good job. We'll take
Ah,
that one
someone
out.
hold my spaghetti. I'm dropping it all over the floor. Ah, there it goes. Oh, it's all ruined. Nice. Morning, Tavarish.
Keep moving.
That's nice
Looks
wool.
like one of ours.
It is your home now, and your grave. Ho ho. Okay, apparently we're good. We're good on snapshots now.
Contraband. Good job. We'll take that one out. Mission complete. We have control of the docks and cartel ships. It will take some time to sort through the contraband here, but you've done your part. Enjoy
Actually, you
your
know what? We're gonna
payday.
play one more game.
Good work.
I got an idea.
Civilians will be happy.
Photo filters! So real! Screen overlays! Augmented gritty realism. Gotta use that CryEngine 3 for all it's fucking worth! Okay. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get rid of that, and then we're gonna take shell materials and see what that gets us in terms of accuracy. Or in terms of aim time, I suppose. This gives 20% aim time, or not 20, but 11% aim time and 5% rate of fire. This gives us the same rate of fire bonus, but 20% moving accuracy. The turret traverse bloom is probably the biggest thing that is the issue with this tank, because good fucking lord, it just doesn't care. But let's see what we can do with this. This is probably the most obvious contestable loadout. However, it is a universal slot, so you could very easily just cram in another fucking tier 3. Oh wow, that's a lot of IS-7s. Everybody got one!
PLN have liberated the
Alright,
port and
so-
cargo ships.
Yep, like I said,
Please take
turret
back
traverse
control of the port
bloom.
area so civilians
Biggest
can
goddamn
move.
issue. But it does center
There
down.
are also sands in the area.
So this removes the this kind of removes the bloom from moving.
Allow special forces to land on those ships and retake them. Good luck, Black Company.
So I suppose it's it feels a little quicker, but
Find cover and fight your way out of there.
430. Could you just nudge over just a little bit? Thank you. Hey. Thanks. I nicked his baguettes. Now, you see that? Yeah. That feels a little bit better, I suppose. But good luck, though. You're gonna have to grind through the BMDs to get all those fucking retrofits. Ha ha! Ha ha! BMD 4 is not actually that bad, though. BMD 1 is also okay. BMD 2, oh god, that's shit.
Good, but there are more SAMs out there, and we
That
can't send
fucking
special
reticule
forces
bloom,
in.
though.
They're all
Holy
clear.
goddamn hell. This feels kind of like a normal main battle tank for this tier, though. That's not the M60. The M60 has actually pretty damn good aim time. If I recall. Or at least it feels very nice. This is acceptable now. I think I'll run shell materials instead of aim time. Which kind of doesn't really make any sense how it decreases, Gow! Yeah, fucking... Fucker. It kind of doesn't really make any sense how it, they're fucking behind me. They keep spawning behind me.
Ammo up.
Solution to inaccuracy. Fill entire reticle with enemy tank. You cannot miss. But yeah, I suppose the whatchamacallit. I forgot what the fuck I was gonna say. God damn it.
Identify target.
Hostile tank.
Blap. It's still got a really big fucking hang time, but this feels slightly worse, or slightly better, I suppose. Snapshot!
Well done.
The master of Soviet dice. Except for that one. Ha ha! I'm not exactly sure how this armor holds up in terms of if a player is shooting at it. I suppose probably well, because, well, it is a big slopey pike nose.
Continue toward the port area and keep your eyes out.
Knowing the balance department, the armor is probably not that great. In terms of, like, under serious, competitive, whatchamacallit. Under serious competitive circumstances, because, as we all know, once things start getting competitive, they start losing, you know, they start losing, room for error, and then they start getting a whole lot less fucking fun. But, it seems like this vehicle would be able to hold its own. It's probably not very good for a staring contest, but it seems like it's doable. At least we can penetrate. We can frontally penetrate.
Hold the port area.
Basically everything we fight,
I'd expect our PLM friends won't
or all the main battle tanks of our tier. I don't think there's really anything actually heavily armored that we fight that we can't pen frontally. So that'll be something. I mean, the T-64, that might be an issue. I think that's the only issue, actually. We haven't actually encountered them enough in order to actually say, but I believe that the T-64 is probably the only thing we have to worry about. But that's tier 4 as well. So, in a balanced situation at tier 3, you're probably not going to have to worry about that. And there it is. Though the matchmaking for global operations is going to be the same. So you will have the same +1 matchmaking, or +2, I believe it is. I'm not exactly sure. I think it's +1 and 2. But you'll have to deal with those higher tier tanks. But I think this vehicle is perfectly, you know, for every other vehicle aside from them, I think you'll be okay. And even then, you can pen their lower hulls just like everybody else.
Well executed, Black Company. We expect commerce through the port to resume shortly. Good work.
But okay, that was a fun tank. You'll probably see more of this tank as we go forward into the future. I like it. I think I'm gonna keep it. There's no reason I'm gonna sell it. I mean, sure, I got the T-62 Hunter in there, and that's completely goddamn useless. What does T-62? What is it Hunter? I forget. I'm retarded. I think it's Hunter. Let me check before I sign off here. Oh, T-62 Veteran. My bad. I'm getting the T-64 Hunter mixed up with this. But yes, I even have this thing, and this is basically the first reward tank they gave out. What is it? It is T-62 that Ivan drew on. It is special. Yes? Yes. Play Armored Warfare more. Yes? This is a reskin. This is kind of, well, it's a T-62. IS-7, however, is a completely unique vehicle. Hell, we have the Type 59 as well, but that's a little bit more unique. Well, actually, no, it's not. It's not unique now since they actually put the Type 59 in the game. So forget that. But the IS-7 is a completely unique Slavic masterwork, a work of art worthy of any museum or battlefield. And I've taken quite a liking to it. So I believe we'll see more of this in the future. I don't really have well, I've got a lot of things to play at Tier 3, but this is, I think, the most in your face in terms of recognizability, I suppose. You know, notability. I gotta be the fucking center of attention. I'm a goddamn narcissist. So, well, our friend the IS-7 will be here, and we'll see him again in the future. But I will be going now. Thank you for joining me on this little excursion in Grindfest. I'll see you next time.